Hello, everyone. It's nice to meet all of you. I'm Cheryl, and I'm a PhD candidate at the School of Public Policy at the University of Saskatchewan. My research examines how Canada's new $10 a day childcare policy, that is the early learning and childcare program, is affecting immigrant mothers' employment. Um, the topic is personal to me because I am an immigrant mother myself, so I've seen firsthand how childcare costs can shape employment decisions. I became interested in this topic because immigrant mothers often face a double challenge. Like many mothers, they struggle with the high cost of childcare, but they also face additional barriers such as foreign credentials not being recognized, the lack of Canadian work experience, and sometimes cultural expectations that mothers should stay home and take care of the children. Before the ELCC program, childcare was about $40 to $50 a day. And since the program came in 2022, most provinces have reduced this to about $10 a day. And my research is asking whether this major policy change is helping immigrant mothers to work more and find jobs that better match their education and skills. So that brings me to my three research questions. First, does this lower cost of childcare increase labor force participation? So in other words, are immigrant mothers more likely to work once childcare becomes affordable? And second, does this reduce underemployment? So many highly educated immigrant women end up in low-paying or part-time jobs such as cleaning, cashiering, etc., because childcare is expensive and difficult to manage. Then the third one is that I explore whether the policy works differently for women from countries with more traditional or patriarchal gender norms. So that is countries that expect mothers to not work, but rather stay at home and care for their children. And so I'm going about it using a mixed methods approach. First, I'm using the longitudinal immigration database, that is the IMDb, which links immigration records to tax data. So the IMDb is only available through RDC, that's why I'm here. And it's the only data set that links immigration information with employment and income over time. So using a different and different approach, 2018 to 2021 is my pre-treatment period before the policy. And then after 2022 is my post-treatment period. I am comparing immigrant mothers with young children in Saskatchewan and Manitoba, where the policy began in 2022, to similar mothers in Alberta, where childcare remained more expensive. So this will allow me to estimate whether lower childcare costs increased employment and reduced underemployment. I'm complementing this with 25 interviews that I have already completed with immigrant mothers in Saskatchewan to understand how childcare, credential recognition, and cultural expectations shape their decisions. I am just about to start my quantitative analysis as I just finished the qualitative portion. So I don't have preliminary results to share yet, unfortunately, but the results from the qualitative portion look promising, and I look forward to seeing how they play out in the quantitative analysis. So why does my research matter? Because it can help policymakers understand whether the new childcare policy is working for immigrant mothers. So if I find in my quantitative study, for example, that employment and underemployment are not improving substantially, then this would suggest that childcare alone is not enough. And then the results of my qualitative study can then help explain what additional supports may be needed. And that is the end of our presentation. Thank you. And I look forward to your questions.
Thank you so much.